Hey guys, Dr. Vic here, and I'm excited to have you here as we'll be breaking down and discussing today a topic that I've actually talked about on this podcast before, but I want to bring a different element to it, a different perspective, a little bit of just a little extra adding to that process to help you go a little deeper in it and so much more. And that is the power of gratitude. Now, before we get into today's episode, if this is the first time you're listening to it, please take a moment, just subscribe to the podcast so that way you never miss another episode. We're launching at least 2 a week. If you are listening to the podcast, you like it, and you haven't shared a review, please do. That helps get our message out and helps achieve our mission and vision of what we're trying to do to share messages to empower the world. And then last but not least, if you really enjoyed it and you want to pay it forward, share it with someone that you know that can benefit. So one of the things I love talking about gratitude so much is because I teach and share a lot on how to live your life, dream life, to achieve it effortlessly, literally, pretty effortlessly. And I've done this multiple times in my life. And it's one of those things that one of the ways to do that is through the power of gratitude. Now, we all know that you've heard me say this before, if you've been a subscriber for a very long time, is that gratitude is the right attitude to take your life to the next altitude. Okay. So understanding this principle, why do I say that and how do certain things work? And then at the end of this episode, I'm going to share with you, make sure you stay to the end. I'll share some tips and tricks of what you can do to start a gratitude practice, things that I've done. And I'll share a couple others, like what Oprah has done and other people who are visionaries, billionaires, and so forth that do this kind of practice. So let's dive deep, shall we? So how does gratitude shift our energy? How does it shift our mood? Well, let's take a step back and understand that thoughts, electric, and emotions are magnetic, okay? All forces, everything has a force, or electromagnetic forces, they have a vibrational frequency to them. That vibrational frequency is going to attract things into your life, okay? So when you are in a state that is in pure gratitude, I mean real gratitude, very excited, happy, blissed out about life and everything that you have, you can't be in a lower vibrational state. You can't be in those lower emotions. It's impossible. Not only is it impossible from a vibratory standpoint, from the law of vibration and so forth, but even neurologically, neuroscience shows you can't be in a state of gratitude and anger at the same time. You just can't. You can't be in two emotions at the same time. And so understanding that, and if you really, a lot of people get this and they just listen and go, "Oh, that makes sense. Okay, thumbs up," and they check out. There is something, and I did this before. 24 years old, learning about gratitude and the power behind it, universal laws and all the frequencies behind it, and testing it out and showing it, all this fun stuff, right? I thought that I knew and understood gratitude. But it took me a moment in life to actually forget what I learned to understand the power behind it. Gratitude is just truly being thankful and giving thanks to whatever that it is, the supreme being, Allah, God, Jesus, Yahweh, Abraham, Solomon, Muhammad, Krishna, Ganesh. It doesn't matter. Buddha. It doesn't matter who you worship or pray to, or if you pray to multiples or one, that doesn't matter. The point is just getting to the state of gratitude. That's what really matters. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. But the power of gratitude, okay? And understanding that it is a thing of frequency that can drastically shift. I mean, the work I do as a coach is I teach people how to achieve their dream life effortlessly, right? Now, some people hear that and they get a knee-jerk reaction like, no, you can't do that. I do. I've done it multiple times in my life, and I teach others now to help over hundreds of entrepreneurs do that, the whole process. And so why or how? Well, I'm giving you one secret right here. Gratitude. It doesn't get harder than that. Right? And people, again, you got to remember the mind complicates things. The mind takes a principle that's simple and complicates it all. We have to step back to being simple when it comes to practice of this. And I'll talk about this towards the end. But so understanding that gratitude is the right attitude to take your life to a whole nother altitude, right? So it's going to help you level up. But the beautiful thing about gratitude is this: the vibration of appreciation opens doors. If you don't appreciate what you have, why the heck would the universe or whatever it may be want to bring you anything else. If you can't focus on how beautiful your great, your life is, how wonderful your life is, if you can't see that, then why would the universe bring anything else to you but that, of what you see? Right? If you only see negatives in your life, if you only see negative in a relationship, if you only see that you have scarcity of money, if you only see that life is hard, if you see all the fear that the media just keeps pumping, and I feel like it just have a good grasp on the world, if you keep focusing in that and you don't appreciate what you do have, you're only gonna get more of what you focus on. Law of focus. What you focus on, or what your mind goes, where energy flows. Wherever energy flows, manifestation grows. And so understanding that principle is understanding where gratitude comes from. If you're in a state of focusing on gratitude and being appreciative of everything, and I mean the most simplest things. Here's the thing: if you can listen, if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're listening to this on your favorite app or on our website, that's a blessing in itself. And I don't mean that in the sense of listening to me. I mean having the opportunity to do that. But some may say, well, no, I have a phone. I go on a website, 1, 2, 3, and I'm done. Yes, but 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, 2,000 years ago, that didn't exist. Well, who cares? That was back then. This is now. I understand that. But appreciate that you can do it. Appreciate that you get your head off the bed every single day. Appreciate you have to fear for your life every single day. Appreciate that you woke up. Appreciate you can brush your teeth. Appreciate you can have 2 feet to walk. Appreciate that, you have a house or a shelter or a place to live. Appreciate that you have food on the table when you can have it. Appreciate you can, you have a job if you're working. Appreciate that. Appreciate the family that you have. Whether you like them or you don't, doesn't matter. Appreciate them. Love them. You see, this is where we take elements to a whole level. Let's say, maybe you have your own business and some things come short. Appreciate it. Now, that sounds weird because in our mind, we think that that's a bad thing. And so how are we appreciating it? Appreciate the lessons that come from it. You see, nothing's bad in life. That's a whole program and construct that we have to break down and shift and put energy into a different one. But, there's nothing bad. There's nothing good. There's nothing bad. Life's meaningless. I've done podcasts on this. Life is meaningless, except the meaning you put towards it. And so I shared on a post on Facebook earlier, and I talked about how the art of happiness can only exist. You only can master the art of happiness when you can master the art of suffering. Suffering is a key that we all go through. Now, some people say, well, that's not true. Suffering is a choice, and pain is inevitable. You're going to have that no matter what. Painful moments in your life are going to show up, but suffering through it is a choice. And I agree with that 100%. But again, it's one of those things where you know where I'm going with that is like, if you stay in your pain, that's suffering. That's struggle. If you decide to learn from your pain and move on and know that this too shall pass, then you're going to understand things. But it's understanding to not fight or resist. Gratitude is a practice that is, a whole way of just shifting our life. And I think the world we live in today, this is something that we really want to bring back in the forefront of our lives. Gratitude helps create fulfillment, appreciation for others. I every morning I wake up and I do a lot of gratitude practice. Thank you. At night I do a ton of it. And it's one of those things I just go through my day and I'm appreciative for everything that showed up. If a client didn't sign up for working with me, I appreciated having the opportunity to connect with them and learn something from it. If a client did sign up with me, I'm very appreciative that they signed up working with me. I feel honored and blessed to be able to help serve. It's looking at life from a different perspective, and it doesn't matter what age you are, because we say, everyone, you hear this all the time. No days are guaranteed. Tomorrow's not guaranteed, right? We're all dying. Let's get real here for a minute. We're all dying. Some people's paths are just shorter than others. Now, notice I didn't talk about age. I just said we're all dying. And we're all, that we all have to face that one day or another. So why not be appreciative for the days we do have? Why don't we be appreciative for the moments we have, the time we have, and do as best as we can? We're not going to be perfect. We're not. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody's perfect. And nobody masters their time, or they're like, oh, I'm so diligent. I'm so meticulous about all my time. I'm very good with my time. And there's times where I'm like, man, wasted time there. That's okay. Got a little distracted, or I didn't do anything for a little bit. I took 2 hours, a 3-hour break. It is what it is. But it's one of those things where don't get hung up on those things. Appreciate the moments. Appreciate what shows up in life. It's a game changer. This is not new news. This is nothing new, right? So I shared with you some of the vibrational frequencies of understanding how an emotion of gratitude is a very high emotion. And lower emotions can't exist when you're in a higher state of a vibration. From a neuroscience perspective, you can't be in two emotions at the same time. So if you're in anger, you can't be in gratitude. You can't be in bliss or joy or any of the other, only the polar opposites, right? So let's then dive in here a little and let's talk about how to really look at a gratitude practice. And here's the thing. I want you to, if you want to challenge yourself, now here's a challenge I'm going to throw at you. I want you to be able to write out over 100 things that you're grateful for. Some people can't, or let's say, how about this? Let's go even further. Go 200. Hell, go 300. A lot of times people get stuck right around 70, 80, 90. Getting to that 200 mark is kind of difficult. But if you can master that, you've mastered gratitude. I love when I used to work with patients and I always ask them, what's good today? Tell me something good today, right? Set the tone of the adjustment. Set the tone for the experience. It was up to them. They choose it. And I always had a patient that said, I'm 6 feet above ground. I had another patient always say, I got my head off the pillow today. And I always just say, I love that. Sometimes I have a moment to chat with them and I just be, I love when you just say that. You come in here often, you say the same thing. Maybe it's just trying to, you don't have anything else to say besides that, or really you're coming from a place that you can truly, that you truly mean that. But I took that as an opportunity to go, man, if I can get my head above ground, if I get my head off the pillow, it's a good day. It's a phenomenal day. I'm grateful for that. And everything that comes my way, I'm going to be grateful for it too. Because why? I live by a code that nothing's a loss in life. There's no losses in life. Everything's a gain. Everything's a win. And a lot of times people will justify their old patterns of thinking or conditioning of the world or the matrix we live in and say, that's not true. You lose a loved one. That's not a win. It still is. Yeah, we can justify and what that may be, but I can also look at that and say, yeah, but that was a win because now what's going to happen is I always say people who transition to the other side or the other side of the veil, they leave gifts for us. They leave gifts. I don't know where I learned this from, but I was always like, they leave a gift. And when one of my good friends passed away at 25, I was really heartbroken by it because for a lot of different things. But at the same token, I started to self-reflect about my times with him, the good times we had and the memories we had with each other. And I started to just think of our conversations that we had and so much more. And it was one of those things where he left so much more than I didn't see. Right. Or when my grandfather passed away, that was another big hit. And, but the gifts that he left, I took so much from that more than I could ever, it transformed me. Right. And there's still times to this day, it's been over 11 years and still to this day, there are things that we go, man, there's another gift. Here it is. It's another gift he's sharing. Man, here comes another thing. Right. And so it was always one of those things where they always leave something. So there's no loss. It was never designed to be that way. But your mind can think that. You can think that. You can justify it. Of course you will. If you believe it, you're going to have the proof. It'll show up. You're only going to see that proof. But understanding gratitude and all its aspects of what show up in your life is a game changer. So one of the practices I shared with you already, write 200-300 things that you're grateful for. Work hard on that and then start to master it and become part of your practice. The second thing you can do is just be grateful for 3 things every day. 3 things. That's it. What are you grateful for? What are the 3 things? Some people have gratitude journals where they write what they're grateful for in the morning and night. I do sometimes in the mornings. I'll just do, I'm thankful for today, thankful for the experience, thankful for what's going to show up here. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. I'll go through my little ritual. It's really quick, 30 seconds, 45 seconds. I don't do the writing part of it. At night, I'll go through my day mentally and pick out things I'm just so grateful for. What was the experience here? What was an experience here? And what helped elevate me to that next level? And those are the things that I will utilize in my life to try to raise my vibration. Just appreciate. And I want to be very clear. Your mind may mess with you and say, man, so gratitude is what gets me to have the life I want to have. Great. I'm going to be grateful for everything just for that reason. Bad intention. You got to be grateful for everything and expect nothing in return. That was one of the things I wish I learned early on, because I did do gratitude practices and I didn't understand why things were. I wasn't feeling that. I wasn't experiencing this and I wasn't doing this. And I was like, but I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. I'm practicing what Oprah said. I'm practicing what this person said. I'm practicing that person said. And you really have to just do this because just do it. The third thing about the practice of gratitude, it has to come to be, you have to reach a feeling. This is the biggest mark that many people make a mistake on. I did multiple for years, because you'll think, oh, I just do gratitude practice. And as long as I practice gratitude, I'm good. I'm golden. That's it. But you have to come to a feeling. If you don't get to this feeling, then you didn't do the work. The feeling of gratitude is something that's uplifting. It makes you feel lighter, maybe little butterflies in your stomach, or you feel really grounded, but you have this joy and bliss that comes. Like there's really this like appreciation of just being so thankful. There's an energy to it. I'm trying to really transmute that feeling I have and sending it over to you. But it's one of those things where when you do this work, you want to get to that place. And when you get to that place, that means you were in a state of gratitude. You really hit that energy level. But if you don't feel it within the body, somewhere it's going to show up. Everybody's different. If you don't get that feeling, then you didn't get to that state. I don't care what you do. You're just doing from a mental check off the box kind of process, and you're not tapping into the power, to the feeling and what it can bring to you and so much more. So an old piece of wisdom, probably heard it the same way many times. I've talked about this a couple times, but I really wanted to bring this back and just really emphasize on that feeling. That's the big thing I wanted to bring back about gratitude, and really just share some of the things I've been practicing. And it's just been an amazing process. Like I've grown, I've working with chiropractors when they ask sometimes, how did you, even entrepreneurs, how did you 3x your sales and 5.5x your profits in just 2 years and all these different things? And I always say it was appreciation and gratitude. There was a feeling of what I wanted to have in my office. Yeah, there's all these other things I did with it from the feeling side, but one of them was just appreciating having people there, appreciating the patients choosing me and having the honor to serve them and just be there with them. And that energy opened doors to many different things. And I've practiced this in many other ways, not expecting anything. Even during like lean times, I would still sit there and be like, you know what? I just appreciate who I have. That's it. I just appreciate who I have. In my coaching business, I've done the same thing. Just got really clear on just appreciating the clients I do have, who trust me to help them, guide them to what it is they want to achieve in their life, to help them, whatever that is for their business. And it's been a true joy and a true blessing to do that and serve my clients. And is that helping me see the growth that I'm seeing in my coaching business? I don't know. I don't care. I just appreciate being able to do this every single day. I just appreciate being able to get up and I have coaching calls every day. I appreciate being able to support my clients. I appreciate jumping on calls with potential new clients. There's never an end to that piece of gratitude that I have. The outcome doesn't matter. That's my mind trying to control it. That's the ego trying to come in, right? And I don't have room for that. It messes with the experience. I don't care. Again, there's no expectation. There's no, oh, because I do this, this is going to happen. I'm just going to do this for the heck of it. And if it works out and it does happen, hey, thumbs up. If not, I'm still going to feel good in the end. And that's where my focus is. So I hope this helps in any way, shape, or form. I hope you enjoy it. Check out, a couple things we have. I don't know if you noticed our new website. Check it out. We also have an Instagram page where we're sharing episodes exclusively on Instagram. So check that out. We do got some cool merchandise now. So take a moment, check out our new gear that we have. We have some cool shirts. Like I said, we're going to be coming out with new quote shirts and stuff like that in the mix and whatnot. So take a look. As always, I appreciate you. If you the first time listening to this podcast or you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. That way you never miss another episode. If you like the podcast, please share a review. It really helps get the message out. And then last but not least, if you're inspired by this message, pay it forward to share it with just one person. Appreciate you guys as always. Until next time, keep rocking and rolling.